Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video I want to give you a quick little showcase of arguably the best Spirit Affinity Nuker in the game right now for Arena, which is Ragash, a defensive base champion from the Skinwalker faction. Pretty bold statement, I know. This guy, he was a guaranteed champion before for I think it was 150 ancient shards. He's shown up in a 10x event recently as well, so hopefully a good few of you have him. I've built him in a couple of different ways, and I've very recently rebuilt him as a nuker, in particular since getting Sifi, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'll show you a couple of different team ideas for Ragash. The previous way I had him built, by the way, we talked about this in my Doom Tower Hard video, was with higher speed, like, you know, around 250 speed, and he had like 140% crit damage, about 4,000 defense, and he had like 500 accuracy or something, right? And about 50k health, HP, something like that, you know? It was a much more generic debuffer type build, and that's really good for something like Doom Tower Hard. Can be really good for some faction war waves. The nuker build is just, well, it's really good for doing damage, right? But basically, why is he so good as either a debuffer or a nuker, or sort of the two combined? And there's something big happening here, which we'll talk about. But how it works, for Typhoon, his A2, only a 3-turn cooldown, AoE attack with 75 bucket to 100% chance of putting decreased defense on each enemy for 2 turns before attacking. Great thing about this, no affinity comes into play, right? Because it's like a placement move but no attack. So there's no weak hitting. He just puts the decreased defense out there. And then obviously that decreased defense is going to up his damage as well. And then also 75 bucket to 100% chance of placing stun for 1 turn after attacking. This is straight up one of the best moves in the game. It also hits really, really hard. And another part of what makes him hit so hard, he does 20% more damage against targets whose defense is lower than this champion's defense. So if he does come in and he gets debuffed with decreased defense, his damage is going to, well, it's going to go down a whole lot, right? But if you give him increased defense, which he can actually do himself on his A1, if he lands that decreased defense, he's absolutely going to rip people apart. We're going to show that to you as well. Like I said, his A1 does bring increased defense himself, so he can even sort of self-enable a bit as a defensive nuker, but obviously like going into Arena, that first big hit, opening with the A2, I'm going to show you a build with Sifi and then one without it as well. Alternatives, it's kind of limited. Good increased defense champions for Arena are quite limited, so that can neuter him a little bit, a bit of a problem, but he will sort of get back in tankier teams and so on. He also brings a nice ability here, 4-turn cooldown, strengthen, increase speed on your whole team for 2 turns, and also perfect veil on himself. Quite a nifty little move in live Arena. You can like stall out a turn, wait for Stone Skin to drop off in live Arena, and help your team stay alive. You could do some fun stuff like this. He also puts out perfect veil on the ally with the highest attack every turn too. So if you're running like an attack-based nuker as well in live Arena, or in like your tag or classic Arena, he can give them a bit of extra protection. So could work very well with a Candrafon, for example. Kind of cool. 30% defense in all battles aura is really nice as well. Part of what I think is part of why, not only pulling the Sifi, but the Polymorph nerf, I think, is going to really favor Ragash when it comes in, expecting it around the start of July. And what's going to happen is that Polymorph is going to require accuracy unless it's 6-star. So obviously at 6-star, it's going to be a pretty big problem. Why? Because he puts out decreased defense before attacking. So that debuff, decreased defense, can just polymorph him, and then you're in a pretty bad spot. That's bad news, right? Very, very bad. Good news is that Ragash not going to be as affected by this anymore. Like your tanky revivers are probably not going to be running polymorph that much anymore because they don't build any accuracy. They're going to really struggle to land this. So it's really going to help him to take down the tanky revivers, which, by the way, he's very good affinity for. Apart from Elva, he's good. Everyone's good against Sifi in terms of affinity and Arbiter, but he's good for Duchess and he's good for Pythion, right? The right affinities for all of those, which is a pretty big deal. Not many good spirit nukers, honestly. And on top of that, this is a champion that, because he's going to be able to now to place decreased defense and stun and not be flustered as much by Polymorph, it does mean that you can build him with some accuracy and perhaps take advantage of these really good debuffs more and not be polymorphed. On top of which, polymorph requiring accuracy, it gives you bonus defense. It's going to make him hit harder. And hey, look, it's that bonus resistance going to protect him from polymorph, and he's going to have a little bit of accuracy. He's going to have enough to land it on a decent chunk of champions, right? So yeah, again, if we look at the build that I've got for him, 5.1k defense, 233 speed, 244% crit damage. You know, not totally crazy. I'd say very solid for me. But obviously there's going to be late game players with just stuff that blows this out of the water. But I think it's tough to get him this fast and hitting hard. And I got him with 316 accuracy here. So I do have him with some accuracy. I think it's worthwhile. Looking forward to that post polymorph nerf stage where it's going to help him land polymorph. And yes, it's kind of a big win. He even has 50 base resistance. And especially if you get polymorph up to a higher ranking where it gives you that bonus resistance, it's going to enable you to build also pretty decent resist on this guy. So he's not going to be affected by low accuracy champs at polymorph either. Like, you know, a Sifi has 0 base accuracy. You obviously want to exceed her accuracy by about 100 resistance. The 50 base plus the 50 from polymorph is going to big time help you to get there. Masteries, by the way, we've got him down into nuking. And then, like I said, I've got him down the support tree as well. So I will mention I did a whole video on this. I've just recorded it on the test server, but like this is my team for Doom Tower normal that I actually use. Maybe I'll do a video on that for fun, but I actually use this team nearly all the time for actually we're probably not the best team. Yeah, no, we're not in this one. Obviously 89 turns. I did a whole video on this. Bit of a slower team, but 100%. 100% is full autos through every rotation of Doom Tower hard. No problem whatsoever. Ragash is brilliant as your decreased defense champion who also brings stuns. We don't have an increased defense or increased attack champ in here. You could bring in Mithrala instead of Krisk, slow you down with the Petrify. You could. But because he brings increased defense on his A1, and obviously these are a bit slower, very tanky waves, he's going to actually provide increased defense for a few of those AoE nukes, and it works pretty well. You can check out that video to see it all in action. Let's jump in. Let's do some arena here. That's what we want to see. So what I have is sort of two different type of team setups. Let's just see this one for fun, right? Here we go. Let's do this one for fun. So Sifi, I've pulled her recently. She's not booked right now, and I'm going to actually re-gear her in Stone Skin. I know, crazy, but there you go. But she's great because she provides you increased defense and good speed. And obviously, you know, the strengthen that Ragash brings is going to protect Sifi, even keeping good uptime and the increased speed. All of that stuff is going to synergize super well. One thing, do any of them have polymorph? No, none of these have polymorph, so no fear right here. But let's see at 1 speed Ragash. He's put out decreased defense and bam, smack them all. Did he not crit her? It must have been a reaction. He has 100% crit rate. I was like, wait, did I misbuild him somehow with not 100% crit rate? What happened there? Let's go hit this one on full auto. Great thing about Sifi, and there's no other champion that really does this, is give you like a speed-based increased defense-based champion, right? You do have that rare. What's his name? I've totally forgotten. The rare. He's a bat. Doom Screech. That's the one. You gotta like picture them in your head, and then the name comes to you. That's how it works for me. Doom Screech kind of works, but guess what? Doom Screech, he's not quite as good as Sifi, and we're just smashing on goal 5 right now. We'll find some tough teams as well. Let's actually switch it up to a different team. Now let's do one more with this just for funsies here. But yeah, like, you know, when I'm going up into live arena and I'm fighting like other similarly leveled accounts and stuff like that, we're really going to struggle. You can see, you know, weak hit against a blue affinity enemy. That's going to be a bit of a problem. But Elva, I think, is super underrated. Still, it's crazy to me. One of the best champions ever, still super underrated, and she can sort of come in and slam through. Let me see. Let's look at this against a tanky team and like Mithrala. Okay, they're low team power, not very tanky, but Mithrala should resist. And we should still sort of slam her with good damage. Yeah, so she resists the decreased defense, and he still hit her for. She's very squishy. 50. I think he hit her for 57,000. So. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've built him with good speed and some accuracy. He's not the hardest hitting champ in the game, and he's not like a +4, 6-star awaken and stuff like you'll see from some other people, you know, not on my account, but he's still doing pretty well. If I got him to 2-star, that 400 defense would work pretty well, especially because the increased defense is 60% bonus. Let's look at a go second team, and obviously this team is going to be faster. So I think a nice sort of go second team with him, I put it together over here, be something like this. So what we've got here is a bunch of fusion champions. We've got some setup here, very basic. Mithrala, I'm actually going to get her to open with her A2 to give us increased defense, right? Python hopefully will cleanse before Ragash takes a turn. He's 3 speed faster. And then Ragash will come in with his AoE with the increased defense from her. Let's try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah, here we've got 2 recent fusions plus Mithrala. Mithrala is sort of the other one apart from Sifi that's a good increased defense champion in this scenario. The other, I guess the third one I would mention would be Helicath. Okay, that's actually pretty bad news. Right, we got stripped there and we're a bit wrecked, in a little bit of trouble, but we should be fine and still get through it. This is where Mithrala A3 would certainly be better. Not going in with that A3 is definitely going to hurt us. We get the revive off. Cool. He might have died, you know, against a different nuker. Obviously, Ninja's not super good, so we might have had some trouble there. But this team, it's like, we're going to be super tanky. It's going to be really difficult to kill. Uko is going to be just a pain in the butt. You know, you got to have a lot of luck to kill through this. You know, maybe we should even set Mithrala to use her cleanse. But you imagine these champs in live arena. You could even open with Ragash, a different move, something like that. Well, let's see if we can find a really tough team and see if we can make it work. Unfortunately, I'm going away on holiday, and live arena, the times are not going to line up for me to get it done in this video. But I will try to get you, obviously we'll be doing more live arena, certainly after the Polymorph nerf for sure, and we'll get you some Ragash live arena gameplay after that. It's just not going to work out today. So yeah, none of these teams are very good. Let's see if we find one that's actually kind of scary. This one, okay, here's a team that's actually kind of scary. Let's imagine it's live arena. It feels pretty bad if they have all four of these champs in live arena. Let's say we banned away a Yumiko. There we go. Yumiko's banned. That's what happened. So Ragash, he's getting slammed. Would provide his own increased defense there, but obviously he can't. We'll strip their buffs. One thing, actually, do they have Polymorph? No Polymorph. That's surprising. I guess this is a pre-Polymorph viewing. We get the cleanse off, which is cool. Actually, we'll go in with an increased defense here on Ragash. Let's see how it goes. Look at that. Rota smacked him, and he did survive. Kind of nasty. Oh, we probably should have died. If this was live arena, he should have ally attacked, and we would have lost Ragash. I don't think he did it. I've been talking. I've not been paying attention. Let's see how hard he's going to hit right here. Bam. It's a good smack. The stun on Rotus, obviously actually not going to help us because of Sifi, but it's sort of helping us get through. Let's get the revive out right here with the increased speed. Let's start working on the Sifi. That's who we want to kill. So sort of slow and steady. He might have his strip, so I'm going to save her cleanse. Yes, he does have the strip, which is pretty bad news for us. Maybe he already used ally attack. Maybe I'm an idiot. That's almost definitely what it is. Nice healing from Python, going to give us pretty good value with the defense that Ragash has. Here, just to protect Ragash from Rotus. So Rotus, actually, he hit Python. Not the worst thing in the world, but we can actually use the Strengthen to protect us, which is great from Ragash, and also puts him under Veil, which is fun. We'll A1 right here. Cleanse our stuff off. See if he's going to get a turn. It's going to take a while to kill off this team. We'll definitely just A1 the Sifi, smack her up a bit. We're getting there. We've got the increased defense on right now. We might as well give increased defense to everyone, plus stack up those Python buffs. Just make us as tanky as possible against this Rotus. I love Rotus. One of my most wanted. We'll strip off their stuff. Fantastic with the Uko. One thing we'd hopefully love to see would be a Polymorph from the Uko. All right, let's see how hard we're going to hit right here. Bam, we're building up damage. We're getting there sort of slowly but surely. It's going to take a while. But again, he survives the hit, which is a pretty huge deal, actually. Here, I'm actually going to put poisons on him. Try to kill him off a little bit. Wear the Sifi down. I think she got healed more than hurt by that move, which is quite funny. We land some provokes there, which is great. And yeah, that should be Sifi dead. Great. And we could hit, I think, full auto at this point. Gives you an idea. It's actually finish off... what's his face? It doesn't really matter which one we finish off, does it? I think he's going to, yeah, strip us, but we should come back on time. There we go. Increased defense is on. He's protected himself, which is, again, kind of useful, although he is quite tanky anyway. Ooh, big smack. You can sort of see the difference there with Ragash with the extra defense that he has. I think she's got about 3,000 Mithrala. Now, maybe we had Helm Smasher proc or not or something like that. You know, it's hard to quantify it for sure. But Mithrala took a pretty big smack, much bigger than he took. I think that's kind of interesting to see. Let's see, we can kill Rotus now. He doesn't have the buff on. And once he is dead, the fight is won. Bit of a longer fight, but I think that's a pretty good indication of some pretty realistic live arena stuff. No duplicates on either side. Very high tier live arena champions on both sides. And seeing like a go second type team at Ragash. This type of team might be very useful for you in tag arena, in live arena, where again, like... there's a good chance you have all of these champions. Like if you're watching the regatta, maybe you're just curious. Like I totally watch guides for champs. I don't have, of course. But you know, you could have these two. Like if you're fighting this sort of level, right? you're going to have these two fusions. You're going to have Mithrala as well. You probably have the guaranteed Ragash. You could build a team like this and, you know, start to find pretty good success. And like I said, I think this only gets better with the polymorph changes. I think Ragash becomes a better bearer of polymorph. And he benefits from there being less polymorph out there as well. You know, champions like the Nekret and the Sifi that right now very well could be running polymorph, but from, you know, in the future, more likely that they won't be. That could be pretty effective. So yeah, I thought that was fun. Let's see how it does against a go firsty type team. What's sort of the best go first team here? This bomb one would just be, actually maybe this bomb one would kill us because Python would get bombed. I guess this one is like the best one. They don't really have any control. They're all kind of bad. I mean, let's go up against this one. Wait, 167k power. That's really low. This one's 200k, so it seems a bit better. Let's see how we do. Yeah, look, there you go, guys. That's what I wanted to cover with Ragash. With this build, by the way, this type of build, he's going to be brilliant, of course, for Doom Tower normal, hard, MVP as well for Faction Wars too. I think he can probably solo the Faction Crypt even with like a regen set or something. We're not running that, but oh, look at that. Bam. He survives, comes through and rips them apart, which is pretty cool. Let's see how he would do if we were to, let's say this was your arena defense and you were like, okay, you know what? Let's have Mithrala do whatever so she'll cleanse if it's needed. I think that's how she works. That's actually, you know, let's have her cleanse. Right, so against this is not quite a go first team. It's a not quite a squishy one. Oh, he's actually killed him. Oops. Oh well. So let's actually do the shield, right? And then let's go. And let's see how sort of hard he's going to hit now. He should still land decreased defense on some of them. Oh, he'll do it on all of them. So bam, there you go. That gives you an idea for how hard he's going to hit without the increased defense. You've got Duchess reducing the AoE damage. So he didn't quite kill the Duchess or the Arbiter. And obviously if we were against a similar level player with, you know, a Duchess with 100k HP, it'd be tougher. Like that one didn't have 100k HP. Obviously she took 83k damage total. She couldn't possibly have 100k. So, you know, she's a bit under geared compared to where I would be with my Python, for example, has about, I think 90k. But yeah, look, it gives you an idea. There you go. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. I hope it was interesting to see Ragash in a couple of different teams and get an idea for what he can do for you. Just really good against the Pythons, the Duchess of this world, and with the polymorph changes, going to be worse on those champions, stronger on him. I think it's going to be a pretty big win. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.